Let's wait for a few minutes. We got disconnected. So let us wait for everyone to join.
Done, done, done. Uh, Sorry for the interruption. I guess there was some technical issue, so that's why meeting got ended. So, Vanika, can we wait for might be 2 3 minutes?
Yes, yes,
But
we'll wait.
yeah,
We'll wait for others to join.
yeah.
Okay.
See, we are talking about the dental hygiene, and that is the other side of the dental world. That is
Everything is just a click away.
true, true, true. So it's both thing. It works both way.
Absolutely. They also got a break.
Very true. So let's wait for the other participant. Might be few more. I think we start and go slow, and meanwhile people will join. One,
Okay.
two, three. Yeah,
So
over to you.
we were playing this game called this or that. I think my screen is visible. Yes. So
Yeah.
as you can see that we spoke about Netflix.es and that nowadays this Spanish domain name is being used to bypass the Indian security and scam people in India and over and globally. Is there anyone like has Chirag joined? And yes, Chirag, you wanted to speak, I guess. Is there anything that Chirag wants to say? Oh, thank you. Okay, it was a glitch. So let's move on to the next one. So this is the last question that I'm going to ask you. So which one do you think is correct? Please put your answers in the chat box, whether you feel that the first one is right or the second one. Okay, so everyone feels that the first one is correct. Now, what if I just zoom it out? And if you have to look at it from a distance, if it's like very small, will you be able to make out whether it's an R N together or it's just an M? एंड जनरली हमारे तो डोमेन नेम ऊपर में एकदम छोटे ही आते हैं या फिर कभी फोन से एक्सेस करते हो तो डोमेन नेम तो छुप भी जाता है सो इन सच केसेस वी हैव टू बी अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट वी आर क्लिकिंग ऑन एंड व्हाट वी हैव टू बी सिक्योर्ड फ्रॉम राइट सो you are right, it was the first option and not the second one. So I think we were smart enough and we could understand how the scammers are scamming us. But let's hope that we do this in the real life as well. Now, when we come to think of scammers, last year I was auditing a client, and in its bank statements, I saw that definitely, Priyanka, we are smarter. So I was auditing a client, and that client had made payments to a few people, and they had like I had asked for remarks on the bank statement, and they had said that they had paid this to a consultant for setting up an ATM. So when I asked them that give me the receipts and everything, and why had they not set up the ATM even after 6 months, they said that basically they got scammed. They had gone online and they were looking to set up an ATM service. They wanted to rent it out. So they went online and searched for ATM service providers who would want to set up an ATM in the rental space. So he clicked, he gave away all the information. People called him up and they said that we'll pay this much down payment and we'll pay a good monthly rent. And of course, the client got lured away and he was okay, like, let's go. But they said that will need to pay certain fees so that we can go ahead with the documentation and everything. And in the name of the documentation, they had charged them. Like they had given them proper bills with GST and with company name, company address, and everything. Later turns out that no such company existed. And rather, it was, I'll tell you the name, it was Sriram Finance. So basically, Sriram Finance had closed down its ATM business back in 2021. So these scammers were using Sriram Finance ATM services name to lure people who would give away their details and pay money like this. So you have to be very aware on that, the kind of links that are popping up. What are you interacting with? And generally, when such things happen, it is better to get onto a video call or maybe go meet in physical, because when such organizations are there, they will most definitely have a physical space as well. So it is better to check who is behind the website, who is behind the digital space that they have created for themselves, and be aware of this. So that person lost around 50,000 with just such a stupid scam. Had the person been more aware, no such thing would have taken place. So here are a few handy tips that you can use when you are going through such things. So firstly, always check the email or website address. Try to verify if it's real or if it has been fictitious, or if you find that it is somewhat fishy, do check it out. And a lot of time when you get the number, it's better to go on Truecaller कि वो कंपनी नेम से ही है कि किसी इंडिविजुअल के नाम से आ रहा है. बीच में एक आपके उसके स्कैम चल रहे थे, कस्टम के स्कैम्स. They would call you up and tell you that your item has been seized by the custom department, and then that you need to pay so much penalty to get your stuff out of it. And the payment they used to send you a link, जो कि आइस गेट के थ्रू नहीं जाके, there used to be some individual sitting in Bihar or Jamtara who used to get that money and flee away. And otherwise, how do you identify the fake ones? So a lot of times they use SEO and they ensure that the link is the first link. And as a habit, we all go to the first link thinking it is the right link. बट आप देखेंगे बहुत बार कि जब आप किसी फर्स्ट लिंक पे क्लिक करते हैं, उसके नीचे लिखा आता है स्पॉन्सर्ड. दैट मीन्स उसको पैसे दे के फर्स्ट में लाया गया है. इन सच केसेस it could be a scam, because now they have used money so that you deliberately click on that as the first option. So it is the first option that pops up because of ads. Second is they ask for additional details, and if it is like an authentication app where authentication is required, like if I go for HDFC Bank and a scammer has made a spoof website called hdfcbank.co.in, and I've clicked on that link because that was the first link that appeared when I searched for it. So I went ahead and I put in my data. I put in my username, I put in my password, and I gave the OTP, but still the authentication failed. You might wonder what happened. But in the back end, they're actually using their password and ID to log in to a real hdfc.com with your username, with your ID, and the OTP that you shared. So you have to be very aware when you're logging in, and especially when you are giving such critical data online. So here are a few safeguards. Firstly, you need to use a firewall. A lot of you use antivirus. उसमें भी inbuilt firewall होता है which protects you from whatever, from the sites that you should not be visiting, or if there are any such scam sites. The second thing that you can do is block pop-ups. Now, what are these pop-ups? Anyone, what do you understand by these pop-ups? Please feel free to share your views in the chat box. So Riktam is saying like it is like a notification or a small window that suddenly appears. So does it appear suddenly? Chirag ji, I want to ask you, does that small window appear suddenly? Or did you click on something and then it pop-ups? Suraj ji has said that it is after you click on a link and ad pops up. Okay. So as we know that when we click on something, something opens up. And that opening thing is called pop-up. Like supposing you're on a website, you want to access a PDF. Now there's a link to that PDF, and when you click on that link, it moves to a new window or it opens a new tab. So that is a pop-up, something that opened up on its own, right? And it shares the data and you can also read through it. But a lot of time, these pop-ups in the back end are collecting data. And a lot of time, like if it is malicious, you can download a virus or in your system. Otherwise, it can take you to pages that otherwise you would not visit. So these are the kind of things that are happening. So as a security measure, we have to block the pop-ups. Like supposing if I go to Chrome, is it so this is my Chrome and I go here. Supposingly I said ICICIbank.com and I have this option here. Is it visible? So I click on it and it gives me the option cookies, data site. I can manage on-site devices like 1 second. I can go to the site settings and here we have the option of pop-up and redirects. I can go and allow or block the pop-ups. If I do not want it to create a new window or start something on its own, it is better that you stop or block the pop-ups from here. Also, you have the option of intrusive or misleading ads. So there are many pages or websites which are earning revenue by showing ads. Even Taxman, not Taxman, but Tax Guru or any such free website, you will see a lot of ads are there. So if you want it to not show those intrusive or misleading ads, you can block it from this setting. Just go to the site setting and you will see this option here. And to that, go to site settings and you can block it. So this is how you can block the pop-ups. The next thing that you should do is the URL should start from HTTPS or SSL. A lot of times it could only be HTTPS, which is not very secure. So you have to look at double T's. If it has double T's, it is secure or SSL. Like there's some, 1 second. So when you go for GST registration, they give you an option where you can click to know which range you fall in. So if you click on that, it actually goes to another pop-up. It opens a pop-up, but since my firewall is on, it will not allow me to open that up. And it will always show me a message that this page is not safe and hence you should not proceed with it. And यहाँ पे आपका HTTPS लिखा हुआ आता है, which is strike birth. So these are other things that you can make sure. Now I want to show you another thing. We talked about email, we talked about searches, we talked about pop-ups. Recently, I received a mail from Mere Mutual Fund. And as you can see that it is telling us that there are fake accounts in its name created on Telegram. And it has the links like Mere Asset Channel, Mere Asset Problem, Mere Asset. Then there are bots as well. So they have shared the social media handles which are real. Now, there must be a lot of people who have already joined them, thinking that it is the right one. So it is better that you go to the website, and a lot of times they share their social media handle or everything, or it is verified. So it is better to go for those rather than just accepting or clicking on anything and everything that we see. And if such messages are there that you find in your mail or something, do pay attention to it, because you never know that it may be sharing some information that could really be useful. Any questions till here? Anyone? Any query, any question, or anything that you would want to discuss? Okay, let's move on. So, if ever your email or the credential that you have shared, do you think has it been in any data leaks? Because a lot of times we do hear that medical data has been leaked or data from MC database has been leaked. So do you think, or do you want to know if your email ID was ever in a data breach or leak? Do you want to know that, yes or no? Something, let's keep this interactive. Okay. So there's a site called have I been pawned.com or the Firefox Monitor. And there are others like that as well. But Have I Been Pawned has the largest database of the data breaches and everything that has taken place in recent times. So just go to haveibeenpawned.com. As you can see that it has so many websites. These are the number of pawned accounts according to the website. So it is also asking you to do this. You can add your email address here. So this is the email address that I use for my CA form. So as it is a very public email, let's see if it has ever been in a data breach or leak. Just put in this, and good news is that I have not been pawned. But if you have been using your email ID for a very long time, this is a comparatively new email ID. So the chances of it being in a data breach is low. But if you have been using the same email ID for the last 10, 15 years, please go and check it out. You can also set up notification features that if in any future data breach your email is there, you can get a notification from them. And apart from that, you can also use Firefox Monitor, works on similar mechanism. It is just that each website or each of such search engines have its own database and the uh, number of data breaches that they have gathered. So the results totally depend on that. So moving on, now that we know about data breaches, the second thing that we can do is to protect ourselves. Offensive तो हो गया, अब defensive करना है अपने को, so we can use a password manager. Now, what do you think is a password management software? What do you understand by password management software? Please use the chat box and let us see what you understand by password management software. What does it do? I've not received any answers. Let's wait for one or two answers. Is anyone, has anyone ever used Google passwords? I'm sure a lot of you might be using Google passwords. So Google password everyone is using, right? To save passwords so that it is easily accessible. So similarly, we have password management softwares. Now, what this password management software does is, firstly, it helps you create a unique password. what are the most used passwords? 123456, phone number, birth date, right? And all these informations are mostly public. So if a person who knows me well might be able to guess the password that I've kept. So we need to have a unique password that is very difficult to crack. So if a person can crack our password, do you think machines will take very long to break our passwords? So what kind of password will a machine have difficulty cracking? Any answers? What do you think? Like any and every password machine will be able to crack. Basically, when the passwords are very long, or it is alphanumerical, or it has many symbols, it is a mix of everything, it is more difficult to crack it. And as humans, we always try to keep passwords which are related to something that we know so that we don't forget. It is better to use a password management software like Bitwarden or 1Password or LastPass. Such softwares can be used. And what do these softwares do? So the first is it will encrypt the user ID and password. Whenever you use Google password, it is saved in your email. And a lot of us don't even log out our emails, right? Laptop में वो logged in रह के logged in ही रहता है. So if anyone who comes and access and goes to setting and goes to password settings, they can easily access each and every password. So we need a password management software which will encrypt the data that we have saved. Encrypting that is also very important. It also notifies you in case there are any breaches. It helps you generate and autofill passwords. A lot of us are shifting to Zoho nowadays. Zoho also has a password management software called Zoho Vault. उसमें भी आप password save कर सकते हैं. And the most important benefit is password sharing and recovery. We have to share the password with our clients a lot of times, and our clients share it with us. So how do we keep it securely and are able to share it securely when needed? So for those purpose, password management software comes handy. So here is a minimum cybersecurity checklist that you should ensure that you have installed in your system or that you are using on a daily or regular basis. Firstly, there should be an automatic screen lock after 1 to 5 minutes. Like I said, you have every password saved on your Google account, and someone comes and uses your laptop when you're not around. So if you had your screen being an automatic lock, वो नहीं access कर पाता, वो screen ही lock हो जाता. But अगर वो case नहीं है, then please firstly use a password management software, and secondly do a screen lock, which in case of 1 to 5 minutes of inactivity locks your laptop. Second is Windows Defender firewall is on. So you have two options. Either you can go for off the market security systems, maybe Quick Heal or McAfee. So there are many such options. You can either choose from them. But if you want a free option that actually works, you can go for Microsoft Defender Firewall. So if you just type it in search bar, it might pop up. So you can see that the Windows Defender Firewall is here. So you have to just completely on it. It is guest or public networks, it is connected. So this way you have to turn your firewall on. Private networks में बहुत बार ऑफ करना पड़ता है ताकि डेटा शेयरिंग हो सके, अदरवाइज वो डेटा शेयर नहीं करता है. Second is sign out or turn off remote desktop when not using it. A lot of us are using remote desktop. उसमें भी आप automatic screen timeout लगा सकते हैं. नहीं तो in case if that feature is not enabled, purposely and consciously turn it off. You never know who is accessing data and who may bypass the system when you're not around. Fourth is revoke camera, microphone permission for all non-essential applications. Now, how do you know which application has your camera or microphone permission. Do you know how to check that? Do you know how to check if the apps have camera and microphone permissions? Anyone? So Ritika is saying no. Rinki is saying no. In phone, they have asked for permission to access. Priyanka, nowadays we give such access even while we are online, like when we are using a desktop or a laptop. Like supposingly, if I'm using Zoom right now, it is because I've given them the permission to use my phone and my speaker and my camera as well. So how do we know whether it is on even after we are done using it, or how do we know? Like we might have stopped using that application, but we might still have given the permission. It is the application is still installed in a laptop, and the permission is still there. And now, since we don't use that, we may want to revoke it. So how do you do that? So when you go to settings, in settings, you have something called privacy and security, right? Here, you have search permissions, you have camera, microphone, right? So when I click on it, it is showing me all the applications which has my camera access. Now, if I want Microsoft Teams to not have my camera access, I can simply turn it off. Otherwise, when I'm not using my any application, or I may have a laptop in which I do not need to give camera access, I can simply just turn everything off and the access will go. So this is there. Also, you can also see review camera access from the last 7 days, which are the applications which have used my camera in the last 7 days. And similarly, you can do the same for microphone as well. Microphone, camera, location, which are the applications which is a, like, do you think there's a news app? Do you think that app requires my location? Or should I give my location to this news application? And again, other like desktop apps which have accessed my location. Then there were 3,412 requests for, and Zoom Workplace has accessed my location so many times. So these are the applications and small steps that we can do to secure ourselves digitally. And not only that, a lot of times we give such permissions on Chrome as well. Like if on Chrome, you go to settings, again on privacy and security settings, like I searched ICICI Bank, I went to the site setting, and here you can see that for location, it has to ask me. A pop-up will come here and it will ask me whether I want to allow the site to access my camera, microphone or not. So you can reset those permissions and change this. Like I can always set it to allow or completely block for the sites which I know will not require my camera, location, or any such access. Any questions till now? You want me to show, like, or go deeper for this or something like that? You can ask. Okay. So these are the permissions that you can enable or disable depending on your use. Then review recommendations on and offer settings for personalized ads. So nowadays, as humans, I feel I've become a commodity. And the major reason why I feel so is that I am constantly being pushed ads, products. Like if I go to Myntra, if I want to shop for something, I just need to click on it. If I go to Instagram after that, I will see there are 50, 60 items that Myntra has pushed to me. And similarly, other things like if two people are talking and our phone is there, a lot of time we may have set fire extinguisher. And then you open some application and you see fire extinguishers from different company. The ads are being pushed to you, right? Now, how do you stop that? Or how do you limit that? So when you go to Chrome, you have the option of searching. One second. go to settings. Then we have privacy and security settings. Here you have I add privacy. So here you can decide what kind of topics the ad you want. If you want from the sector that you are practicing it. Like supposingly I'm into uh, technology. So I can ask it to give me ads for technology, right? So you can select the topic that you want to be pushed to you. There could be like active topics like food. And if you're on a diet, you would want to stop that, right? So you can block those kind of ads from this setting. You go to privacy and security, you have ad privacy, ad topics, and you can block those topics. Then we also have site suggested ads. So whatever activity that we are doing, based on that, like there could be, you can block sites you don't want. Don't also auto delete sites from the list that are older than 30 days. So if you have not used any page or you have not visited a website for more than 30, 40 days, then it will remove those recommendations. Like if I visit to 42. So in the next ad, it may show go forward, but it will not push me if I just block it. And then add measurement and other things like that. Apart from that, even in your windows, you have privacy and security. And here you have recommendations and offers. So this is a setting which is used to collect data from your computer. So it can allow websites to access my language list, the kind of language that I am. So improve start and search results. So it is all based on the kind of uh, data that you are accessing, the kind of data that you are saving on your system. So you can turn off these settings so that such ads are not pushed to you. So this is to clean up ads and being pushed some product or the other every now and then. Apart from that, there are applications like ad blocker. You can install it on your system and it will prevent apps from showing up. Like I think Tags Guru is a website which has a lot of ads, and sometimes it is in fact difficult to read the actual text because it is being overlapped by ads. So in those cases, ad blocker comes really handy. So you can review the recommendations on and offers, review privacy and security settings of your browser that you use. Then the next step is to uninstall all apps that you have not used in the last 6 months. Like supposingly, there are many camera apps, like there could be PixArt. But if you're not into content creation or if you're not into photography editing, that app might still be in your system. It is collecting photos, it is collecting your location data, it is accessing your camera every now and then. So it is better to uninstall those applications uh, that you have not used in the last 6 months. Then again, update your application and system. Like even when you use a window, you will always see that there might be an Intel update, or then might be updates from HP, Dell, or Windows itself. So it is always better to go for those updates as it fixes the patches and fixes the bugs. But you may ask me कि इंस्टॉल करने के बाद बहुत बार सिस्टम खराब हो जाता है, बट स्टिल हमें अपडेट करना चाहिए कि नहीं? Is it, you have this question in your mind as well, that you may have updated your system and वो system उसके बाद उतना अच्छे से नहीं चल रहा है. Anyone face this problem? If it shows data breach against my email ID, how does it impact me negatively? Priyanka, it may not directly negatively impact you, but do you think like you may not know the negative impact? So supposingly you had your data saved in the AIMS database and it had your medical records. Okay. Now there might be some company out there which has access to that data. It could be like you had like it could be a relative who has a severe disease which impacts you, or maybe something like that. So because of that, they're pushing you medicines. So that can be how it is negatively impacting you. You may not know the negative impact immediately, but otherwise it can access your data. It may use your email for malicious purposes, or it can also pretend to be you. Nowadays, we have AI avatars. They can also copy your voice. So ultimately, they can create a digital version of you. It depends on the kind of data that they have and the kind of data they have collected, and if they are, if you have a very good digital standing. Like there are a lot of digital creators, influencers, who oftentimes talk that their site was removed or their profile was removed. How do you think that is happening? How do they have access to the data that is required to remove that kind of profile? For you and me, it may not be a big thing, but we have a very good digital presence or a presence in the real world, then it does impact us negatively. Your email ID could be linked to your bank account, and that email ID is being used to reset your password or something like that. A lot of times we are aware, so we can prevent data breaches, but it is always good to be safe. So, have I addressed your question? Thank you. So, again, delete temporary files that are not in use. And a lasting thought, this Diwali, don't just clean your physical space, but also your digital space. It is always good to be safe rather than be uh, defensive rather than being offensive. And there's another trick that I recently learned. A lot of times we face the issue that we have accessed a website. Supposedly there was a Chrome extension and I have logged into that through my email account. Okay. But later I found out that that application is of no use to me. Now, how do I know whether it is still accessing my email and how do I remove access to it? So I go to my email settings. So here we have the Gmail. We have manage your Google account. Then you go to the setting. You have data and privacy settings or security settings. Go to security. Now here you can see your connections to third-party apps and services. Like supposingly in this, I had recently logged into reclaim.ai and I had deleted that account. But I can see that it is still connecting to my email account. Now I can simply go here and delete all connections you have with reclaim.ai and I can delete this. Now this way it will not have access to my email anymore. And also through this setting, here you also have another option. It shows you the devices that you are connected on. So you have the devices and which has the running sessions, right? So a lot of times when we log in ourselves through multiple accounts, we often forget कि कौन से system में login रह गया, log off करना भूल गए, and you may not even have access to that system later, right? So this way you can just log out from your phone or maybe laptop, whatever it is, by just going through the setting. So these are two very important things and this is very useful. Like I have used it multiple times. कभी किसी article के laptop में sign in करके email access किया, but फिर log in करना भूल गए. So this is how you log out from your email. Are there any other questions that you would want me to address? Anyone? Okay. Thank you. That was it from my side.
I guess let us wait. Might be 1 or 2 minute more. If anyone
Okay.
has any question, then we can just.
In mobile as well, Chirag, you firstly can download antivirus softwares. You have antivirus softwares for mobile. Secondly, go through the permission settings. Especially mobile phones, we generally download a lot of apps and then we don't use it. So go through the permission settings. Ensure that you do not download or install softwares which are not there on Play Store or Apple Store or third party. You do not use APKs, and there are multiple files, documents. Go through them, delete them. That is how you ensure secure data in your mobile.
Any more question from anyone?
Thank you.
I think that was a great deliberation on the journey from physical to digital to what need to be taken care. That is most important part.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody is going digital from this physical world, so we should take care of ourselves as well as the relevant document, which is very important to us. So, on behalf of EIRC and all the participants, thank you so much, CA Vanika Choudhary ji, for enlightening us on the topic and giving your invaluable insight on this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Vanika as well as all the participants. And we'll meet you all again on Friday, 5 o'clock for the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, attendees, for bearing with me for an hour.
So
Thank
that
you.
was very interactive and very delightful session. Thank you so
I
much.
hope the sessions are like this only.
Yeah, it was. Thank you so
Thank
much.